Shelah Feldstein at Tulare County Office of Education here in California. I serve as an improvement advisor and network director, actually network director for the network I get to talk about today. Tulare County is situated right in the middle of California. We're roughly the size of Connecticut. We have 43 school districts, but 30 of those districts are single school districts. And often cases we have one teacher teaching a single grade. So pretty siloed, very rural community. We have roughly 110,000 students, and 3/4 of those students are socioeconomically disadvantaged. One of the other challenges we face in our area is that we have no four-year university, and so our schools are oftentimes pretty isolated from research partnerships and university resource and supports. One of the other really large challenges we face is academics based on our demographics and based on resources that are not available to us. A few years back, we noticed that 83% of students were not meeting expectations for standards in 5th grade mathematics. And so that got some of us talking about how are we going to address this issue? Well, we got together some school districts in the area. In fact, they had schools with some of the most underperforming students. And we decided to launch a math network geared towards improving 5th grade proficiency from the average of 17% to tripling that to just over half proficient by 3 years of working together. We called together school site teams that were composed of teachers, academic coaches, site administrators, and district administrators. We really targeted 4 areas of work for our time together. We wanted to address classroom culture and mindset, really redressing how students see themselves as a math learner. We were going to tackle math instruction, and that was really about teacher practices. We knew that we had to also do some work around aligning supports for that instructional improvement. That was about coaching so that the teachers could then make those instructional shifts. And also we had to focus on collective learning because one of the big challenges is the isolation in our area. We really wanted to work intentionally to partner teams and schools and build collaboration across our region. If you like driver diagrams and theories for improvement, here's all the work. This is actually all of the change that we implemented across our school sites. So you can look at that at your leisure. In terms of how those teams work together, I'd say the most critical piece that we designed was what we call the action period. And the action period situated the learning rhythm, and this is where all the magic happened. So you can imagine quarterly network meetings where everyone would get together and discuss, learn together, talk about data, and then individuals would go back to the classroom and they'd be testing change. They'd be implementing new ideas, new approaches. And twice during that action period, so about once a month, those school site teams would come together, they would consolidate their learning, they would really look at data, and they'd share their learnings, key insights up with the hub. We were then at the hub, at the county office, able to take that information and disseminate it across all of the schools. So we're really connecting knowledge, building a large research base in our area about what's working and what's making an impact. In terms of outcomes, I had mentioned that collaboration was something we were going to intentionally build at the start of launching this network. And this is our social network analysis that shows each individual school site represented in various colors here. And you'll see some school sites were totally isolated. They only had one-on-one communication in some cases with individuals, with little or no connection with other schools in the region. Other schools were highly connected and very collaborative and had some connections with other schools in the region. Well, after we formally launched our network, not even a year later, that same display looks like this. And so we met our first goal of really truly building a learning community across the school sites. And this represents how easily knowledge can flow from one school to the other. In a rural context, this is absolutely essential. At the end of our time together, we had a small handful of schools who did reach over 51%. It was no small feat, and that was a huge gain, a huge increase for those students in terms of their overall achievement. What's really exciting is that a very large handful of schools who participated in the network were beating the county average. So schools who were the most underachieving at the end of this experience, they were standing out amongst their peers in the county. We had partnered with Dr. Jo Bohler from UCubed at Stanford University, and she conducted research on our network to understand how the way we supported the mindset curriculum that her team had developed, how that had been utilized through our network and then ultimately led to student outcomes. And she found that there was a statistically significant increase in student achievement related to the mindset work as compared to other schools who did the same curriculum. And so her findings were that, and what she proposes is that the network structure enabled teachers to better utilize her resources, and ultimately that led to increased student achievement. I'd say that the outcome that we are most proud of is at the teacher level. And teachers are saying that they were fully transformed as a result of being a part of this community, that they would not be where they are if they hadn't been a part of such a strong collaborative process. So I'd like to talk to you about what we learned as a hub, as a county office, in terms of how to lead engaging professional opportunities, how to lead a network that truly gets to outcomes. And the first is that we had to shift our thinking from what to how. We learned that it wasn't really about what resources, what materials, what needed to change. It was really about supporting a process for change. And this, to us, looked like disciplined inquiry. How are we supporting teams to be critical consumers of the resources, and really thinking about how they were going to implement change in their system. In terms of improvement routines, we've learned that it's absolutely critical to be very clear about who meets as a team, what that meeting looks like, how those teams are sharing data, and how that data then can be shared broadly to help inform actions across the broad system. Another shift is that we had to stop thinking about coaches as a person, but coaching as an activity. And so we saw cases where a leader made a great coach, or perhaps a colleague teacher would make a great coach, or even some cases a student made a great coach. And so that was another important shift for us. Participant teachers let us know that the work they did on sites with other teachers was the most impactful. And so when we had cross-site visits and teachers could go in classrooms and really see changes being implemented, they could talk about data and impact, and they could do that disciplined inquiry together in real time. That's the thing that we wanted to make sure we have to replicate in future opportunities. And so the residue of that improvement project was infrastructure to do more improvement work. And we're really excited that we've launched CVNIC 2.0. That's our math network geared towards middle school math. We have CVNIC Readership, which is a leadership and literacy focus. And we have CVNIC College Ready that's launching in spring, geared towards secondary outcomes. Thank you so much for hearing about our story. If you'd like to learn more, cvnic.org has a lot more information and videos that you can access. Please feel free to reach out. My email's on the slide.